Hello everybody, welcome to my new series on the Yamaha Tracer and what I'll be doing with it. I have just started this channel and I want to keep you informed on what I'm preparing and how I'm using my Yamaha Tracer. So welcome. This is the first installation, and what I'll be doing in the next couple of episodes is transforming the bike into a touring bike. Now, I don't think the Tracer is the best bike for touring. There are specific touring bikes and they're obviously better for that, but it is a fairly good all-round bike and it can be used for touring. I have myself the Tracer, of course, but also an FJR, and the FJR is a proper touring bike, so I will probably be comparing it with the FJR in my head, but that's not the goal of this series. The goal of this series is just to show you what you can do to make it a better touring bike and then how it behaves when you're using it. I am preparing a trip to Scotland, about 10 to 12 days riding in Scotland in May. This is now end of March, so in about 1.5 months, and I've started ordering parts for the Tracer to prepare for that trip. So I have ordered a new screen, a taller one that will be more comfortable and give better protection when riding. I have also ordered a GPS navigation system because I've been using my phone for my commute and stuff like that, but you don't want that when you're touring. I've ordered some hard cases and bags that I will be installing, and today I'm just going to show you how to install the screen. I have just received it. It is a Puig. I don't know exactly where this brand is from. I think it's Spanish, Italian, I'm not sure, maybe not. And I have already an accessory in the bike, which is this lights. I can turn it on. You see, they turn on and it's just presence lights. They don't illuminate really. But the problem is, for this Puig screen, I just found after I received it that you actually need to remove this frontal area, otherwise it will hit the screen. Now, not only I don't want to remove these, I still have these other lights which gives it an extra 1.5 to 2 centimeters of thickness, so the probability of hitting them is even higher. And what I'm really trying to figure out is, can you use that screen with these handguards and with these lights and be good with it? I've been asking around on the internet and people say that yes, they touch the screen, but only when you park it and only at full lock. You can actually lock the steering with the screen and the handguards, so it should be okay, but that's what we'll find out. So stick around and let's see. Right, so now I'm recording with a different camera. This one will stay in the tripod, and I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll be trying to figure out how to install it. I have, of course, the instructions. They are obviously useful. There are some bolts in there, but most of the screen is prepared to install. So let's see how that goes. Now let's first do the unboxing, of course. This is the screen. It comes with some fancy graphs on how it's supposed to be much more comfortable and much better than the original one. I've been looking at these graphs and I cannot really figure out how they calculate this thing. I think it's mostly marketing bollocks, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's taller, it's bigger, so it should protect you better. I've chosen the clear color. I don't like dark screens. I think they change the image of the bike a lot, and I don't like that. These ones have a nice pattern down here. I hope you can see it, with a honeycomb and some black areas, which should be interesting. But the screen comes all the way from down here, of course, to the top. So the black areas are actually shorter than the full screen. And if you compare with the original one, it's quite a bit taller. I hope you can see. It's at least more than one hand taller, and it's also wider. So of course we first need to start with removing the original screen. That's what I'll start doing. So I need to get my tools. Alright. Removing the original screen is not that difficult, of course. It's just 4 Phillips screws. These are plastic, so you should be careful not to over tighten them if you put it on, but also not to scratch them or destroy them when you're taking them off. So just take off the 4 plastic screws. I think the reason why they're plastic is if you crash and you hit with the screen, they will break. And you might scratch the screen, you might break the bolts, but you will not break anything else on the bike. Also, if you crash and you hit with your body on the screen, it will break the bolts out, the screws out, and it won't do any bigger harm to your body. But that's, I think, just my theory. I'm not sure if that's true or if it even makes sense. I think it does, but what do I know? So as you can see, taking off the screen is pretty easy. You just take off the 4 screws and take the screen off. Now there's this second little screen that's behind the main one. I have some stickers here from Baron van Grumble. I'm not sure what exactly I need to remove, so I need to consult the instructions. Remove original parts. Remove more original parts. And then... Well, these instructions are pretty shitty, but I'm sure I have to remove these, and I think I might have to remove also the bracket, which makes sense because the bracket is there for the screen. If we're changing the screen, we should change the bracket. Of course, they also say in the instructions that you should remove the handguards, but I don't want to do that, so let's see how that goes. This one's might do. Yeah. Jesus. Now one thing I'm curious to see is the original screen and all this setup is height adjustable, so you can move it up or down. There's a few knobs in here that you need to undo, and then the whole thing will move up and down. And I want to see if the new screen, well, I guess you retain the capability of moving up and down, but what's the interference of that screen more up or more down against the handguards and all of that. So that will be interesting to see. And you might be asking, why did I choose this screen and not the others? To be honest, I read some reviews online, and you know, as usual, most people will say it's okay, some people will say it's not okay, so you can't really conclude anything. You have to try it yourself. This one was on sale in Amazon, and that for me is a big plus, because that just guarantees me that I can return it easily if something is not okay. So I guess this all comes off when you remove those 4 bolts. Yeah, so that's that. And now I should just install the new screen. So we'll see how that goes. Pretty big screen. It looks like a scooter screen, which is horrible. But, well. So I need to bolt these there. I obviously need to remove the original ones, but we can already have an initial idea. Oh yeah, this will hit for sure. Uh-oh, I'm losing parts already. Shit, that's what I don't want to happen. Piece is coming off. That's not good. Oh, those are the guides for the rails to move these things up and down, so I need to be careful, otherwise the rest of it will fall off. So what I figured is that first I need to remove the screen from the original bracket and then install the bracket and then install the screen again. Alright, so I need to remove this bracket from the screen, and then of course at the end I'll put it back on. These are not tight at all, and I'm not sure, but no, these are not plastic like the original ones, but there is a rubber mounting. So there's a rubber bushing here, I guess to absorb some vibrations. So let's undo the other three. So the screen is out from the bracket. Let's put this to the side. And let's install the bracket. Yeah, the instructions, like I said, are pretty crappy, so I don't know if I should be using the original screws. But actually I was going to say there are no other screws, but there are. So let me see that. So together with the instructions they sent 4 screws. And I don't know what these are for. Because like I had the opportunity to say, the instructions are crap. Alright. So I guess what I have to do is I need to use this bushing from the original screen, but not the bolt or screw or however you call this, I don't know. But instead I have to use the ones that they sent. So I'll have to use the original bushing with the new screw. I can see the new screw is shorter, so that might be it. Now I need to do some mix and match. These ones go here. I'm not sure about the angle or how much visibility you have into this. I'm just putting them in. I'm not even sure how the camera focus is, and even the microphone, if it's nice or not, because this is, like I said, this is the first video I'm doing, so I hope, first of all, I hope you like it, and second of all, I hope it comes out good, at least on the technical side. So let's install the bracket. And I already have a problem, you see? The original bushing doesn't go through the hole. So what the hell? Yeah, so I don't know what to do. because if I use the original thing, bushing or whatever the name of this is, if I use the original one, I don't get any space to bolt anything anywhere, so it doesn't make much sense. But the instructions are pretty clear. Use the original one with the new screws. I really don't like when things don't fit, because it just makes me wonder what kind of engineering goes on when developing these products if they can't even do the fucking hole to the same size as the bolt. Come on. And then they send all these fancy graphs of pressure and how well they protect you. Yeah, that's all bullshit. You can't even do a hole with the proper size. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here. I could use the original screws. So let me put this piece that fall off back in place. That's the other side. Alright, so that was the installation video of the taller screen on a Yamaha Tracer if you're going to tour. Now we've seen the problem with the handguards hitting this particular model of the screen. I don't think it's bad enough that I will send it back. I will just have to figure out how to put a little bit of rubber protection in those areas, because the handlebars still lock without hitting the screen. So I hope you can see here. You see it's locked, but if I move it like this, it touches and it will scratch the handlebars. It already scratched a little bit just for me trying here. So it is moving around. I'm not sure if I locked it properly, but the bolts are secure, that's for sure. So I just need to figure out, maybe it's just like that, I don't know. I know that when you're riding you immediately recognize if this is good or not. So my next step is to test it, of course. I want to ride around and see how it works compared to the original one. The original one was pretty shitty, so this should be better. And I will be installing a GPS, probably not all by myself, because I don't want to fiddle with the electricity piece of it. And I'll be reviewing that. And I will also install the luggage cases to the side. I bought some Shad, which is a Spanish company. They are pretty nice, as people say. I don't think I will put a top box. I really don't like the looks of it. But also it influences the aerodynamics and the behavior of the bike when you're riding, and I don't like that. Plus I'll be riding all by myself, so I guess the two big top boxes should be plenty for 10 to 12 days. I will also do videos on how to pack, what to bring, what to leave behind, gear, stuff like that, and that's all in preparation for my trip in May to Scotland. So I will also be filming the trip, and I will probably make a lot of videos on that, or at least one video on that. But since it's 10 to 12 days, probably more than one. So stick around, make sure you subscribe. I hope by next week or something I have the bags and I can install them. They should actually arrive today or tomorrow, so I might even do that over the weekend. Then we'll go to the other stuff. GPS is after the bags, and then start planning and packing and all of that. So one of the biggest questions I have about packaging is my camera. Because I want to have it accessible. I want to, I see a nice spot, I stop and I take the camera out and I take some pictures, but I don't want to fiddle with the bags or open or close. I want it to be waterproof, of course, because it rains a lot in Scotland, or so they say. So I really want to figure out where to keep it. I don't know if it fits on a tank bag, and if the tank bag is big enough for it. So that might be something that I might be adding, is a tank bag to this bike. But that's still to be decided. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.